have a good counterbalance.
Yeah, we even upcharged at the door. We increased the price to like unnecessary amounts, like $50, $100. Not because we wanted to make a profit, but to turn people away.
Yeah.
So I also took in consideration people's not emotions, people's behavior. Because when you turn people away, when you say they can't get in, that leads to anger. But when you tell somebody it's $50 to get into a house party, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm going somewhere else." And that also, from a branding perspective, that was like, "Yo, that party was $50, and it was that crazy." But at the same time, it turned them away, and it kept us at a good crowd, meaning it wasn't just crazy. So all these different methods, we had, people who are, intimidating enough to be at the front and keep things. A lot of thought went into Jello too.
Yeah,
a lot of thought, and it worked. Now,
shout out to the door crew.
The only thing that's different between Jello 2 then and me now is I would never let capacity get that crazy.
Yeah.
I'm very more
the good time and not the numbers.
I had to think about how honest that was.
Was it honest?
Because my numbers are still...
Yeah, but your spaces are different now.
That's true. Yeah, so I would never have a space that small and try to do that much. If I know, I'm going to at least do it at a bigger space. So I think that's what I learned from that eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. But I did learn from that. But like I said, I was really... It was a huge event, and I was testing everything I learned.
Yeah.
Everything I learned.
Now, moving on from Jello... We're going to touch on marketing, but the pivot is you went from competing with Trey Songz to bringing out Kirko Bangz. Let's talk about that.
Okay, Kirko Bangz. You really on that. You was really on that page. Okay, so once again, so now I'm a house party dealer now. Apparently. I had two spaces.
Yeah.
Like you said, Northeast and Northwest. In one of the spaces, I did an event, Size Game Dance Crew.
Yeah.
So a cousin of Size Game Dance Crew member, a cousin of one of the Size Game Dance Crew members went to one of the house parties, occasionally. And she told her boyfriend, now they're married, shout out to them. I love them to death. I love them both. But she told him, like, yo, you have to go to a Size Game house party.
Yeah.
And little did I know that this is one of the managers of Ibiza nightclub. He is grown. He does Ibiza, and if you live in DC, Ibiza and Love were just the top two super clubs in DC. Why are you dragging me to a house party?
Yeah.
And he showed up, and he saw why. And he hunted me down. He was like, "Who's doing this? Who is making this happen?"
Yeah.
And we met, we talked, and he wanted to bring me in as a promoter. So we met. We had a meeting. And within our meeting, we were talking, and he was like, "You know way more than just bringing people out."
Yeah.
And he brought me in as he brought me in as a coach and a special events curator. So I did all their special events. After the Kirko, I ended up doing their special events such as Halloween, things like that. Anything that was just curated. Like, it was just like a one-time only thing. Like, special events they had. So you were big on special events back in the day when you were younger. This is when it started. It was all thanks to him. Yeah. That's Joe. I got to shout Joe out. It was all thanks to Joe. But when he brought me in there, the first gig he had me do was the Kirko Bangz. the Kirko Bangz gig.
And that line was around the corner.
Yeah, so he said he had a list of artists. He was like, who, you know, with the crowd you have and what you could do. What artist? Kirko Bangz was the hottest artist at the time.
That was the drink in my cup.
Yeah, that was the hottest joint. And this is my first time actually. I did concerts before. I've worked with big name artists, but I've never got to choose. This is my. They were given to me.
Yeah.
Like, this is the artist you got to work with. But this is the first time I had an artist that like they was like, all right, there's 4 artists. Which one you want? And then I went from there.
Was there a different weight in terms of you now having to choose the artist?
Nah, I told you I'm arrogant at this point.
You're not thinking about what failure looks like. You're like, nah, I'm gonna win.
I haven't lost yet.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. So like, I'm taking L's, but like I've taken L's before that. But like at this point, like I'm winning. You know?
Well, what did an L for you look like back in the day?
These are like old days. These are like Club Bounce days. You know, we Club Bounce was every week at one point. They were special at one point. They were like once a month.
Yeah.
But then it evolved to every week. And I had to see times where I would do something and nobody would show up.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out why. Because I was getting paid to figure out why.
Yeah. And that's a very big deal.
When I was a child at this time, this is I'm like 16, 17, and I got to sit down, you know, after I do my homework and figure out like, yo, why did I fail?
That's real. That's very real.
Yeah.
After trying practice, after homework,
after everything, you know.
Why are we not doing good right now?
Because this is because I've already told myself, told my parents, told everybody that this is what I want to do, and like they say, nah, that's not real, and then like I see me failing, I'm like, yo, they might be right, so I got to fix it.
Yeah.
But that's how you also know when you're passionate. It's like they might be right. I need to fix it.
Yeah.
Versus it might be right. I give up.
So passion is the ability to overcome the obstacles.